Tonight, Troy University students get honored.
Plus, hunger is no game. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision Nightly News for April 16, 2012. I'm Tiffany Lester.
And I'm Courtney Steele. Thank you for joining us this evening. In light of recent events, tomorrow night there will be a chance for members of the community to learn about ways to keep themselves safe. Members of area law enforcement and representatives from local businesses specializing in home and personal security will be a part of a town hall event at the Pike County Courthouse tomorrow night starting at 7 o'clock. Circuit Clerk Jamie Scarborough organized the event as a way to take back the community. Anyone is welcome to attend the meeting, especially those who have questions or concerns about recent incidents. Once again, the town hall meeting will be tomorrow night at 7 in the Pike County Courthouse.
Earth Day is this Sunday, but Troy University's Environmental Club is not going to wait until then to try and bring awareness of environmental issues to Troy students. As Deotra Montgomery shows us, they have an entire week set aside.
Environmental issues may not be in the forefront of many students' minds. However, Troy Environmental Club is looking to change that.
This week we're having Earth Week, which is a celebration of Earth Day, which is this year it's Sunday, April 22nd. And usually we just do things to promote environmental awareness. Pretty much we're just trying to educate people about going green or at least doing something to help the environment.
But is one day enough? The organization is taking the time to plan a week of events to raise awareness of the environment.
You can celebrate it one day, but I think a lot of people might miss it if you just do it for one day. So we usually try to do it all week long. That way we can get as many people as we can during the week, because we might not get everybody in one specific day.
The Environmental Club's key point is to raise awareness of environmental issues. However, they're not neglecting to implement a little bit of fun for students and faculty on campus.
We are having a funky junk contest, which is where you take recycled items or items that are recyclable and make art out of it. And we're having a raffle and just kind of fun things like tie-dye and that sort of thing.
The Environmental Club hopes students and faculty will take advantage of the week's activities to learn more about the environment and how they can make it better. Deotra Montgomery, TrojanVision News.
Tomorrow night, the Environmental Club will have a showing of the movie An Inconvenient Truth at 6 in Patterson Hall, Room 105, as part of their Earth Week activities.
Troy University students will be recognized for their honors and achievements from throughout the school year this evening at the annual Honors Convocation. The newest member of the Troy University's Board of Trustees, C. Gibson Vance, will serve as the keynote speaker for the convocation. Among the awards to be presented are the Ingalls Awards for Excellence in Classroom Teaching, presented to an outstanding faculty member, and the Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award, given to a senior male and female student and to a distinguished faculty or staff member. The Honors Convocation starts tonight at 7 p.m. in the Claudia Crosby Theater.
And Troy University students will use canned food as building blocks later this week as a way of fighting hunger in Pike County. The Hunger is No Game Can Castle contest will be this Wednesday on the Bibb Graves Quad. University groups will use donated canned goods and their creativity to see who can build the most creative castle on the quad. After the contest, the food will be donated to the Pike County Salvation Army. Organizers hope to both feed the hungry and raise awareness about hunger in the area.
Our goal is to collect 2,800 cans or 100 cans for every 1%, and so that's 28%. And so 2,800 cans at the Can Castle contest, and just use that platform as a mechanism to engage people in the conversation, and then hopefully going out and doing something.
The Can Castle contest will be Wednesday at noon on the Bibb Graves Quad. Sealand says even if you are not a participating group, you can still donate canned goods at the event.
And for anyone who missed the Troy premiere of the musical Band Geeks, there is still a chance to see it. Band Geeks is hitting the road for its second performance. The musical will be performed this Friday at the Davis Theater on the Troy Montgomery campus. Band Geeks was written by Troy alumnus Tommy Newman and is performed by the Troy University Theater Department. The Montgomery performance is the first of 3 road performances for the show. There will be 2 more shows in Birmingham in May. Tickets are still available for the Montgomery show in a buy one, get one free special. Tickets are either 2 for $15 or 2 for $25, depending on seating location. For information, you can contact the Davis Theater in Montgomery at 334-241-9567.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Birmingham, former Health South Chief Executive Richard Scrushy is out of a federal prison in Texas and now living in a halfway house for prisoners. The Federal Bureau of Prisons says Scrushy is now being held at a community correction center in Houston. A prison website says the one-time executive is set for release on July 25th.
A Montgomery County grand jury has decided not to issue any indictments from investigating allegations that some Republican and Democratic organizations violated Alabama's campaign finance laws. The grand jury issued a report citing several problems with the laws, including no individual being identified to be held responsible for any criminal violation.
In Huntsville, authorities say a 16-year-old Madison youth has returned to Huntsville to face charges in a fatal middle school shooting. Authorities say Hamad Mimon and his mother Safia were arrested in Dallas.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the Trojan baseball team had their first series win in conference play this past weekend. Dustin Carroll will be in tonight to give you the details in the series and more later in sports.
But first, dozens of twisters hit the Midwest this weekend, and now the sixth person has died as a result. We will have the latest when we return.
I'm Manuel Gallegos in Woodward, Oklahoma. Residents are cleaning up and trying to move forward after the deadly tornado here. We'll have the latest coming up.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
In 1887, it was written that we want to educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, the body to act. And it's no different today than it was 125 years ago. Some things never change. The mission of this university is to prepare leaders who are going to go into the communities and make a difference. And I think it's within that culture of caring that excellence is found.
Troy University, in class, online, within reach. Troy.edu.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we go to Tiffany Lester at the Global News Desk. Tiffany?
Thanks, Courtney. A sixth person has now died as a result of the tornado that destroyed the Oklahoma town of Woodward. That was just one of dozens of twisters that hit the Midwest this weekend. Manuel Gallegos is in Woodward, where the cleanup has begun.
He lost his family home, but Woodward, Oklahoma resident Kyle Reynolds considers himself lucky.
This was our dream house.
Reynolds' daughter was the only person in the house when a fast-moving tornado tore through the neighborhood. She survived, barely making it to the shelter in time.
Just the second that she clicked that third lock on the safe room door is when it hit.
Federal and state officials surveyed the damage on the ground as crews worked on power lines. Residents spent the day cleaning up debris and rummaging through the wreckage. Rochelle Pappendick is searching for documents in a field of jagged rubble, all that's left of a row of small businesses.
I still have a place to sleep. Ours was just a business, you know, the homes and the lives you can't replace.
Residents all say the tornado moved very fast and there were no sirens. Lightning apparently took out the town's warning system as the storm hit.
2 tornadoes!
Officials at the National Weather Service say residents across the plains and Midwest did pay attention to the early weather warnings. They believe the 24-hour advance notice saved lives. In Wichita, Kansas, school officials at Trinity Academy took the warning seriously.
Hello?
They stopped the school's prom for 2 hours while students rode out the storm in a basement. Storms destroyed homes and businesses in Kansas, Iowa, and Nebraska, but Oklahoma was the only state that reported deaths or serious injuries. Manuel Gallegos, CBS News, Woodward, Oklahoma.
A terror trial has begun in Norway for the man who admits killing 77 people last summer. Survivors and victims' families packed the 200-seat courtroom, and Tina Kraus reports from London.
Inside Washington's federal courthouse, Roger Clemens stood to acknowledge the prospective jurors in his second perjury trial. The legendary pitcher is accused of lying to Congress in 2008 about using performance-enhancing drugs. The government.
Anders Behring Breivik smiled as a guard removed his handcuffs, then gave a defiant, closed-fist salute as his trial began in a packed Oslo courtroom. Breivik told the court he killed 77 people in a bombing and shooting spree in Norway last summer, but he pleaded not guilty to criminal charges, saying he acted in self-defense to save the country from a Muslim takeover. Breivik wiped away tears when prosecutors showed an anti-Muslim video he posted on YouTube before the killing spree. Lawyers showed a map of Utoya Island and detailed Breivik's movements as he attacked teenagers at a political summer camp. Victims and their families sat behind a thick glass barrier in a courtroom built specifically for the trial.
The last time I saw him in person, I saw him shoot and kill my friends. So it's it's tough, but it's also important to get through it.
Breivik posed as a police officer as he hunted down and killed dozens on Utoya Island after bombing a government building in Oslo. He told investigators he was part of a far-right militant group, but police believe he acted alone. The 33-year-old will testify Tuesday. Lawyers say he will not apologize for his actions and wants to prove he is sane. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Former Major League Baseball pitcher Roger Clemens was back in federal court in Washington on Monday for jury selection in his perjury trial. Clemens is accused of lying under oath to Congress about his alleged use of performance-enhancing drugs. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from Washington.
Inside Washington's federal courthouse, Roger Clemens stood to acknowledge the prospective jurors in his second perjury trial. The legendary pitcher is accused of lying to Congress in 2008 about using performance-enhancing drugs. The government's first shot at the case last July ended with a mistrial after prosecutors showed jurors evidence the judge declared inadmissible. Investigative reporter Nathaniel Vinton covered the first trial and is back in the courtroom for the New York Daily News.
I think it was really embarrassing for the prosecutors. It was a dumb mistake.
The trial could bring some big baseball names to the witness stand. Monday, both sides presented a lineup of more than 100 potential witnesses, including former stars Jose Canseco and Barry Bonds. The key witness will once again be Brian McNamee. He was Clemens' friend and trainer who claims he injected the baseball legend with steroids and human growth hormones and saved the used needles. But the most anticipated testimony could come from Clemens' former teammate Andy Pettit, who told congressional investigators that he had conversations with Clemens about drug use.
And I think it's going to be pretty uncomfortable for him. He was really close with Roger. I think that's going to be some pretty interesting testimony.
The trial is expected to last 4 to 6 weeks. If convicted on all 6 charges, Clemens could face up to 30 years in prison. Danielle Nottingham at CBS News, Washington.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, including how parents can make the vaccination process easier for their baby, you can tune into TrojanVision Nightly Global News right after the Nightly News. Now back to you, Courtney.
Thanks, Tiffany. Now Dustin Carroll joins with a look at sports. So Dustin, I know there's a lot of children's sports this past weekend, both away and here at home.
That's right, Courtney. A lot of sports going on at home and on the road, and I'll get into more right now. Okay. Troy baseball team ended their weekend series with Middle Tennessee with a 5-10 record in conference and still in search of their first conference series win. Taylor Burke has the story.
In the middle of a 5-game conference losing streak, the Troy baseball team had the number 2 team in the Sun Belt, the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders, to contend with. On Friday night, the Blue Raiders showed the Trojans why they are one of the best teams in the conference, pounding out 21 hits and scoring 12 runs. Troy scored 6 runs in the final 2 innings of the game, but the Trojan rally fell just short. Middle Tennessee took game 1, 12-10.
Everything that Tyler threw, they seemed to get off the barrel. They got off to a very good start, never slowed down.
When someone puts together a 21-hit game, you're pretty much going to lose those most of the time. But we gave them a run for their money and made the game close. So you got to tip your hats for that.
Troy returned to its winning ways on Saturday thanks in part to starting pitcher Joe Hernandez. Hernandez threw 6 innings, giving up 2 unearned runs on 5 hits, while striking out 8 Blue Raiders. Troy picks up the Game 2 win, 6-2.
I knew once I stepped on the mound, that I just had to go out there and compete. I had to go out there with my best stuff and just give our team a chance to win the game.
Joe, you got to tip your hat. He came out and was lights out. I mean, he's got good stuff. I mean, he commands his fastball. He throws a slider for it. But, I mean, his command was excellent.
On Championship Sunday, the Trojans were in championship form. Troy put up 4 hits and 5 runs on Blue Raiders starting pitcher Jonathan Sisko, who had the lowest ERA in the Sun Belt at 1.76. DH Jacob Nixon accounted for 3 hits, 2 runs, and 4 RBI to help lead Troy to a series win, 10-3.
Nixon had a great game at the top of the order. Drove in 4, got some big hits for us during the game, had some quality at-bats.
It's definitely a good thing. I mean, to get back-to-back wins, we've kind of struggled throughout the season to put them back together. We came out, pre-game was good. We were flying around the field, hitting balls, and carried it over into the game. I mean, it feels really good.
Taylor Berg, Troy, TrojanVision Sports.
The Troy baseball team had a pair of players honored for their performances last week. Danny Collins was named Hitter of the Week, and pitcher Joe Hernandez was named Pitcher of the Week in the Sun Belt. Troy travels to Auburn tomorrow to take on the Auburn Tigers. First pitch is set for 6 p.m. The Troy softball team was successful in conference play as well, picking up their second Sun Belt series of the season. The Trojans defeated Florida Atlantic 5-1 on the road Sunday to wrap up a Florida road trip. Hannah Rand and Nikki Hollett each had 2 out, 2 RBI triples in the game. Troy picked up 11 hits as a team, while Ashley Rainey struck out 7 with no walks, giving up 5 hits to the Owls in her 15th complete game of the season. Wren, Hollett, and Michelle Hewitt all had 2 hits for the Trojans. The Trojans return to action on Thursday when they play host to number 21 Florida State at the Troy Softball Complex at 4 p.m. Troy will then host Middle Tennessee this weekend in a 3-game Sun Belt series. The Troy women's tennis team closed out its schedule Sunday against North Texas at the Lunford Tennis Complex on Senior Day. In Gabrielle Viega and Ofa Dioho's final match at home, the Trojans put up a fight, but the Mean Green, ranked 67th in the nation, left the court with a 7-0 victory. The Trojans will now travel to the home of the Mean Green, Denton, Texas, this weekend for the Sun Belt Conference Championship. The championships are set to begin on Thursday. The brackets for those tournaments will be released on Tuesday. And after the Troy women's golf team was victorious last week at the Sanford Women's Intercollegiate, they'll be looking to take that momentum to the Sun Belt Tournament Championship this week. The Trojans have been led this season by senior Haley Lawrence, who enters the tournament as the 6th-ranked golfer in the Sun Belt. Denver enters the tournament as the highest-ranked team in the Sun Belt. The Pioneers are currently ranked 44th in the nation. Action begins today in Muscle Shoals. Also this past weekend, the Troy men's golf team finished 8th in the Wolfpack Spring Open. They will have a week off to prepare before they take part in the Men's Sun Belt Conference Championship. Well, Courtney, Tiffany, I got to give it to Coach Melanie Davis. Last week she told us that she had her team watch motivational DVDs to get them ready for this weekend series. And evidently it paid off as they took 2 out of 3 games. So big ups to her, and hopefully they'll continue that success in the next week.
Definitely. Never know your words of encouragement will come from.
You never know.
Thanks.
And now it's still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News. Find out about this year's Troy Fest in today's edition of Trojan Talk.
Plus, it was another beautiful day for the books, but it seems like those storm clouds have finally rolled in. Derica, what should we expect for tonight?
Well, we actually see a little bit of rain, and we might be seeing some more later on. I'll let you know more next in weather.
Today is Saturday. Today is Saturday. Salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, throw a ball Thursday. Water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday. Let's move Monday, swap snacks Sunday. All the healthy children eat well and move a lot. And move a lot. And move a lot. Eat well and move a lot.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day.
Skip a rope Saturday, freeze tag Friday, tap dance Thursday. Whole grains Wednesday, try your veggie Tuesday. Let's move Monday, split the sweet Sunday. Eat well and move a lot. Today is Saturday. Today is Saturday. All the healthy children, all the healthy children.
Get ideas. get involved. Get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now Derica James joins with a look at weather.
So Derica, those storm clouds have definitely rolled in. We saw some rain earlier. Should we be expecting more rain for the rest of the week, or is the sun going to come back out?
Yes, we did see a little bit of rain just a few hours ago, and we may, some parts of Troy is actually still seeing some of those rain conditions. So yeah, we may be seeing some a little bit later and on into the week. But let's look at our current conditions. As we look, we see there is light rain going across Troy right now, with temperatures coming in at 72 degrees, dew point at 68 degrees, humidity at 88%, barometer is at 30.16 inches and steady, with winds coming from the north at 7 miles per hour. Then as we go into today's stats, high of 82, low of 59.06 inches of rain, with the sunrise at 6:13 a.m. and the sun should set around 7:13 p.m. As we look at temperatures around the state, we see Huntsville coming in at 73, Birmingham at 74, Montgomery is at 73, Troy at 72, Phoenix City at 74, Dothan at 84, and Mobile at 80, with mostly overcast to mostly cloudy skies all throughout the state of Alabama. As we look over the southeast, we see that temperatures are mostly staying in the 70 and 60 degree range, with areas in the Florida region mostly seeing 80 degree temperature. But as we look at temperatures across the whole United States, we see that the West is experiencing mostly 50s and 60 degree temperatures. So they're pretty cool, with some areas still experiencing those 30 and 40 degrees. But as you look over on the eastern coast, you see that most of them are actually experiencing some 80 degree weather. So it's pretty hot in those areas. As we look at current service, not too much going on in the western part. High pressure system with a cold front coming through, with a stationary front right behind it, giving it its nice cool temperatures, where it's not too hot, not too cold, just right. But as we look close into our area, you see scattered showers across the state of Alabama and Mississippi, with a cold front coming through, which is going to decrease our temperatures just a little bit. As we look over the next 48 hours, we see that most of the whole southeast may be experiencing some rain, with some areas experiencing about an inch to 3 inches of rain in some areas. As we look at thunderstorms, we actually have a chance in our region to see some thunderstorms, but nothing too severe. As we move on into Tuesday's forecast, we see some areas, pretty much ours, may be experiencing some heavy rain. On Tuesday, probably about a 6% chance of that. And on Wednesday, that rain should clear out just a little bit, giving us a light mist. And then on Thursday, we should also see probably about a 10% chance of that rain. And then on Friday, that's when we have another greater chance of seeing rain. And as we look at tonight's forecast, got showers and thunderstorms with 6% chance of that rain. Winds coming from the south at 3 miles per hour with a low of 61. And then for tomorrow, it's going to be mostly cloudy, but we could be seeing some scattered thunderstorms, 6% chance of rain, with winds coming from the northeast at 8 miles per hour with a high of 81. So it's going to be feeling good, but we may be seeing that rain coming through. As we look at our 4-day forecast, we see thunderstorms on Tuesday and Wednesday, light shower in the morning, and on Friday is another chance for showers with highs in the 80s, lows in the 50s and 60s. So as you can see, Tiffany, it's going to be pretty much a rainy week, but we should get enough break from it not to really worry about it too much.
Okay, well, thank you, Derica.
All right, thank you.